Opus Uncensored. By students.
For students. Opus Uncensored is recorded on the grounds of Callaghan campus. We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of these lands, the Pamalong clan of the Awabakal people, and extend our respect to all Indigenous peoples listening. We also extend this acknowledgement and respect to the Indigenous owners of the lands of our listeners. In doing so, we acknowledge that this land was never ceded, nor was it terra nullius.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. In this episode of Opus Uncensored, we're looking at the latest Opus magazine issue that's just come out, which is the music edition. It covers a bunch of music topics, from live music gigs, music soundtracks, playlists to get you through your study, music therapy, some other fun stuff thrown in there as well, like an O-Week recap for semester 1. And to tell us a little bit about it today, we're joined by our editor and media officer at UNSA, Tyler Bridges.
Hi guys, thank you for having me. So our latest magazine is the music edition, and this was one of the most fun magazines so far, just because everyone likes music. I mean, if you're out there and you don't like music, let me know. But most people like music, and everyone was super excited for their articles. And like Georgie said, we had a massive compilation of articles this time around. We had someone talking about the brilliance of Taylor Swift and releasing so many albums this year, re-recordings of stuff she'd already done, which could probably be a bit tedious for her, but pretty rad. We also have a reflection on Peach PRC. I don't know if you guys have heard of her at all, but she is bloody rad.
We love Peach.
Peach is amazing. If you have not heard of Peach, look her up. She is up and coming, and she will be the next Australian sensation. Like, you can quote me on that one. We also, we have a recap of O-Week with some sick photos in there. We also have some different things, like we have an interview with Dave the Band. They're a local band. They are pretty awesome as well, so you should definitely check them out. Check out the piece as well, written by our own Jen and Jake here. And we just have a load of different things. We've got our usual president's letter from good old Luca. And we also have a recap of what's going on in the experience and engagement space by you, Georgie. So a lot of different things in there this time around. It's also the first magazine by our new graphic designer, Tiana, and she has done a sensational job. So definitely check out the magazine to see what she's done. So also, what was your favourite part about it, guys?
Oh, well, my favourite part was the study playlist. I love getting a few tips on how to study, what kind of music to listen to. What's your favourite type of music to listen to, Georgie, when you're studying?
Oh, I love, if I'm into some serious study, I love to throw on a bit of background jazz music. Sounds a little bit nerdy, but just, a bit of quiet stuff in the background. And then also mix it up with some pump-up jams when you need some motivation, I think can be really good.
I think the pump-up at the start, and then you transition into some smooth jazz. It depends. Curating a playlist is a difficult thing to do, I think.
That's exactly right. And that is actually the theme of one of the articles in the magazine, talking about the art of playlists. So if you're interested in that, be sure to give that one a read. There's also a really great review of the Women to the Front gig that was held on International Women's Day earlier this year, which was written by Emily Cole, I believe. And it has some interviews and some snippets of some of the bands where you can follow them. There's so many great bands made up of UON students to check out. Also the band comp that happened recently, you can check out some of them there. So some really awesome stuff in there. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to getting one on the podcast. I think it's cool to be able to interview and talk about how the process of music. I can imagine writing music is pretty difficult. In fact, when I was in school, we had to do it as a music elective, and I had to write. We had to write a song, and I chose to write a symphony piece, and it only went for about 30 seconds. So it's not that great.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure they still made fun of me.
Do you still have a copy of that?
No, I don't. It's deleted.
Dang.
I only keep things that I do really well in. So no, that's well and truly hidden away from everything. But I think I agree. Jazz, if we're talking about the study playlist, jazz is the way to go. But it depends on the pump-up music. What pump-up music would you listen to? Put you on the spot.
I don't know. It depends on the day.
What about you, Tyler?
Cardi B, all the way. Always Cardi B. And Megan Thee Stallion, actually, recently.
Wow.
Ah, so true.
Yeah, just, Body. Like, that is just the perfect way to start your studying, I reckon.
Quick dance session before you get into it. Always good.
Always a good way. Get all that energy out so that you can kind of sit still for a while. It can be hard. It can be definitely hard.
This is true.
In this issue, we also had a bit of an ode to concerts and live music as well, because everyone is kind of missing out on that type of stuff. They are feeling a little bit upset, obviously. COVID put a bit of a spanner in the works. So we had one of our contributors, Taylor, write about the concerts that she went to through her life, some of her favourites, what stood out to her. Do you guys have any particular concerts that really stand out to you pre-COVID?
I've only ever been, I think, to maybe 2 concerts in my life.
Wow.
Genuinely, I remember the only one that I remember going to was my sister bought us tickets. We went to see her when she played in Australia, and we got the gold deluxe package, and I think she might have been a speck in the distance.
That sounds amazing.
But that, I think she got criticised for, like, because she's more of a performer than like she's more of a standstill performer. She had somebody dancing, so she stood at the back of the stage, and it was pouring rain. But we were in covered seats, so shout out to my sister for getting covered seats in the rain. I'm sure she thought of that when she bought them, that it wasn't going to rain.
Excellent.
But what about you, Georgie? I'm sure you've been to more than me.
I'm trying to think. I really love music festivals. I'm missing them a lot through COVID. So we went to Blues Fest in 2019, and it's just such a good time to see so many huge acts at the same time and jump around the different stages, see different genres, and some of the older bands are just excellent as well. So yeah, that was a really good experience.
Yeah, I think Paul Kelly. Do you know Paul Kelly?
I've seen Paul Kelly. I saw Paul Kelly at Groove in the Mood, which was epic.
That was weird, but epic.
Yeah.
He's coming to Newcastle, so I think I'm going to that one with my family. So there you go, branching out.
Exciting.
How to make gravy. How do you make gravy?
We need to ask him personally.
Well, I will. Hopefully he sings about it, and hopefully he can tell us. I don't know if he includes the ingredients in that song.
Just hiding all the secrets from us, basically.
Yeah. And I saw one of my favourite articles, and I think one that we'll look at doing maybe later on, and especially we're talking about movie soundtracks to put you in a study mood. I never really thought about movie soundtracks to put me in a study mood, really, because I feel like movie soundtracks often have songs with words. But what would be if you had to think of a movie soundtrack, just in general, it doesn't have to be to study to, that you really like, what would you think of? Tyler, you go first.
Well, I definitely have to agree with Phoebe on The Hobbit for, like, just good study music, if we're going for that angle. But definitely if we're going for, like, you know, the best soundtrack, Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, I was thinking of musical movies as well. I think they are always the best.
I'm sure you have a much superior opinion to me, Lucas, so what would it be?
Well, mine has to be the ultimate Shrek 2. Shrek 2 has the most music, and I think most of the time, I often have this debate with my family that I think a lot of the time they write the songs for the movie. They tell me that the songs have already been pre-recorded, but I'm pretty sure there's a conspiracy there that these songs are really written for the movie. They're just ahead of their time.
Wow, an absolute classic.
Shrek 2 is great. I'm trying to think of the one that the fairy godmother sings.
Oh,
I think that's a time when a cover's better than the original.
Oh, 100%.
So true.
So true.
And it's so dramatic. You got the gingerbread man walking and all that. I just love it.
If we weren't all just picturing that in our brains, something's wrong, and you need to go watch Shrek 2 again tonight,
right.
I think.
I think it's on every streaming platform, so you have no excuses. On Netflix, it's on Stan. If you don't have either of those, well, get a free trial.
Get a DVD. Be old
Get
school.
a DVD, sure. Go analog. Go and get a reel if you want to go that back.
Are you calling me old, Lucas?
Well, we talked about this before. I'm Gen Z. You're baby boomer, I think you said.
Excuse me. I'm a good zillennial, thank you. Best of both worlds with millennials and Gen Z.
That's right.
Would like it noted that I was alive when the first Shrek came out. Were you?
I'm not sure when Shrek 1 came out, so I can't comment. I'm pretty sure Shrek 2 came out in like 2001, I think. Or maybe it was Shrek 1.
We'll have to look that one up.
We'll have to look that one up
Get
and
back to you on
verify.
that
Can
one.
someone fact check that? Right into the podcast and fact check us.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know if you'd like to be featured on a debate on which Shrek movie is the best.
That's right, Shrek 1 or Shrek 2.
We all know it's Shrek 2.
We know it's Shrek 2, but let's have a debate at least.
Anyway, so yeah, summing up, back onto the Opus Music Edition issue. That one is available to read both in beautiful print form, which you can pick up from a bunch of different campuses. Callaghan, New Space, they'll be around. And you can also read it online, which is super handy. So log on to uncensored.org.au, go to the Opus tab, and all the previous issues are available to read, which is really handy. You can also see the online articles, and if you ever want to contribute to Opus, there are gift cards for physical magazine contributors, and you can also get some experience writing for online articles as well, so that's really great. And we love to encourage students to do that, don't we, Tub?
We 100% do. I love reading new perspectives on everything, love having different contributors. It just makes my job amazing.
And you do such a fabulous job editing as well, so it'd be nothing without you. So
Oh,
thank you for coming on to talk about it today.
Thank you guys. Give me a bit of a big head there.
Gotta do it. Until next time, you've been listening to Opus Uncensored
With Jess.
and Georgie.
And Lucas.